right, so what we're looking at here through one of the early versions of our space-time travel machine, and you can kind of see it in the reflection here, are 4 poems by Amish, or perhaps his name is pronounced Amish. I'm not entirely certain, but 4 poems by, I'll just say Amish Trivedi, and these poems were all, to my knowledge at least, originally published in the Brooklyn Rail, and perhaps that's incorrect. I know they were published in the Brooklyn Rail, but oh, bless you, boo. That's Leo in the background sneezing. But perhaps originally they were, published elsewhere. But in any case, these 4 poems all have the same title, and I'll take us away from the space-time travel machine for just a second so that you can see what that title is, and then I'll pan back. They're all titled "Thank You for Sharing," and here are the 4 poems right here. And what I intend to do is to give a reading of these poems, but in keeping with some of our other projects that explore in different ways the limitations imposed on some of us, at least, by conventions of reading and conventions of evaluation and judgment, and perhaps and other conventions as well, and other types of belongings and disbelongings to whatever the expression poetic citizenship might mean. I'm going to give a reading of this poem in as close as I can sort of eyeball it, 1-inch sections. So although, as I mentioned before, this is actually a series of 4 poems, the reading may be divided into 4.5 or 5 or perhaps even 5.5 sections. We'll just have to see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to eyeball about 1 inch and read each section within that inch space. It's not quite, there we go. Well, I don't suppose it really much matters if it's entirely an entirely rectangular section or not. All right, so this first section of these 4 poems is called Thank You for S. Along our arms, body withholds bolt of lightning, no now to tip, the unrestrained pressure equals, always smiles to unimagined proper mood, the walls of the sins are thick, in science not yet grow and seed, body are the bursts of scattered and aneurysms invent, or the V-tiled room before whatever it is, poet once in the tears, in the can-do, is wink rupture, and no stops being a maybe a poem. Part 2, Herring. We mark time keeps us together, and now moment a cap or ring, a division of seizing between before they die, realize in a request the dirge sense canyon by a fit veins of hover dead. I drew a dead. The field so ings which fail ers or mimics a nightmare parade in which there the miscarriage that prayer is too great while to canvas that knew its way. The one ever hears poem once the ought to fight. Part 3 of 4 poems, untitled. The hours and sea am flooding out idness of grief or holler, or maybe bodies fighting to the universe we vista opens, the hours, the temp, earth looming like a river, another woe, look in the ghosts cross the ground. Might talk of it to warning the lungs, cooked stars, and until the world is no reverberation collapse of instinct to not argue when read around, ching to appear, leading to the train's roar has ills its white blows of the body Four poems by Amish Trivedi, part 4, I believe, perhaps 3, all of which poems are titled, thank you for sharing, this section untitled once again. Did says flesh, trusses ether, let's pray, airness, along the aching, everyone laugh, held no longer before in movies, there's out a lover, they row slightly to create sleepless night press. Not hard to see the modern approach. Ear I wanted every what scares me at wit. At vlit, the postule of blummeration, the eyes, kind of darkness on against the empty wall. Ons is known as the est. Maybe it's the flesh that's rotting too, and again, maybe what of a thing to cause I ate it outside. Maybe cells around its except either collapses. And I do believe this is going to be the 5th and final section of 4 poems by Amish Trivedi. Once again, all of which are titled, thank you for sharing. This last section, once again, untitled. Cess slow the A, there was the trail. We laugh disrupts before bursting. S the hero, the road create. The rusher fit into E, while your approach to everything to me about. The of blood that eyes contain all S. One cannot E walls of the S, the present. It's the job of a sting to identify what a poem cause. The maybe a poem's acceptance. Thank you for sharing 4 poems by Amish Trivedi.